So, today is Tuesday. I keep forgetting the day of the week. But we are down to chat, down to catch up, getting ready for a lot of events coming up. Always busy, always staying busy. But yeah, we wanted to check in, see how everybody's doing, let you know how Mimi Jax is doing, how Sai is doing, and chat with you guys for a little bit of improper musings or a little bit of sports chat, and let's see what we got for you guys. So how
That
you
should be
doing?
interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm
Always good.
cool. It's been, I mean, listen, we're in year what now of this pandemic? Like, I don't even think people are counting anymore. We're just like, we're just in it. We're in the
Mm-hmm.
thick of it, right?
Right.
Um, I'm trying my best to see as much in a positive manner as possible. I feel like every day is exhausting at this point, but you know what? There's some wins, some losses, and some you don't know.
Uh-huh.
Um, you know what? I'm gonna start this particular uh live off with a shout out in respect to my dude Darby, man. So first, Darby the
Mm-hmm.
dog. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we call him a miniature reindeer. His birthday was today, actually, ironically. He's 16 years old. There's a mini pin that's pretty impressive, actually, for any dog.
Right.
But 16 years, 16 years. So shout out to Kelly and everybody else that consider him family.
For
Um,
sure.
Rest in
Yes.
peace, R.I.P. Darby.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, it's been a crazy um, month, I say, you know. Um, I'm curious to know how your weekend was with the recap of everything going on, the goings on. You guys look like you were having a good time.
Yeah, it was a good time. For those of you who know or who've been following me, I was in Atlanta at the Black Writers Weekend, hashtag Black Writers Weekend, hashtag lit weekend. I love that. It was a lit weekend. Um, and it was great. We had a lot of authors, a lot of Emmy nominated playwrights. We had readers, of course. We had aspiring authors. Um, and actually, one big takeaway I'd say is that we are all writers. Everybody's a writer. Everybody on the inside is a writer. Multiple people kept saying this. It's just a matter of what kind of writer do you want to be? Do you want to be a published writer? Do you want to be a screenwriter? Do you want to, you know, have your stuff out there, or are you going to have it keep it to yourself? So poetry, so many different aspects, and I love the intersectionality of it with podcasting. Of
Okay.
because podcasting is telling stories. We're telling stories. We're sharing experiences, and you're living that when you're reading somebody's book. So shout out to Tamika Newhouse for a great event, and her whole team was
Indeed.
excellent. Thank you, Walter Gaines, for inviting me, having me down with the crew for the podcasting interview section, and it was great. My nephew had a great time too. He and Kimberly Jones were chopping it up, and I was like, "Y'all don't need me to interview her. Y'all having a good conversation without me." Um, but it was a full weekend. It was a busy weekend. I wish I could have attended more of the events, but I was also down there working in other capacities, so I couldn't I
Indeed.
couldn't attend everything. But I got to meet some people in person, and it was really great. So I enjoyed myself. It was a busy weekend. I'm telling you, I always need a break from a break. I may go
I
away,
believe you.
because it's not like,
Listen,
mm,
I don't know if the people know. I don't know if y'all really understand. This woman doesn't really take a break. I haven't
hmm
seen it.
we're going
In the years that we've known
nonstop
each other, I haven't seen it. Even your breaks need breaks. Like,
for real. Yeah.
and you're active. Like, I don't think people really understand. I have not seen, listen, I knew it the
Mm.
day we met. Y'all don't understand. We met on the road, literally cycling.
Right.
And I know this is gonna, it may come off differently. I'm trying to tell you, in the world of cycling, you understand what I mean when I said this woman has a different motor.
Mm.
Like, and you can see it stride for stride. Like, my crew, no slouches, but everybody showed serious respect because they recognized right away, like, yo, Mimi? Mm,
She's
yeah, man.
rolling.
She's straight with it. Like, she took every hill, every climb, every decline, like literally put you through the paces and make
Mm.
you think about resetting your pace. Like, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it translates to every other portion of your life that I've seen, like honestly, and it's actually impressive. Like, I'm not even fronting. I'm
Yo,
not gassing you up.
thank
I have
you.
no idea where you get all this energy.
Well, listen, I appreciate that because I'm working with an intern right now, and whether it's an intern or a consultant or a junior planner or whoever I'm working with, I have high expectations. So I know everyone's not going to be full on like I am. But I have high expectations. I expect you to come to the meeting on time. I expect you to give me the spreadsheet that I asked for with the information populated in it. I expect you to like not be falling asleep. I don't ask for
She's not
much.
lying, y'all.
I don't
She
ask
is
for
not
much.
lying.
You know, if you I'm gonna treat you as no matter how where you are or like how experienced you are. I'm gonna treat you like the 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 position and the experience that you think you should have. So these Gen Z, you know, I'm working on that patience. You know, God knows that. Well, pride is one of my issues, you know, because I just think I'm pretty good at what I do. But patience, I have a lot of patience, and sometimes it just gets real short with like who I'm working with. So I just say a prayer for my intern when you get a chance because he's going to learn. He's going to learn from Denise. He may not get the fun Mimi, but he's going to learn from Denise,
Ooh,
and I think that'll make him a
no.
stronger. I think that'll make him a stronger
Mm,
employee going forward. Hopefully he don't quit.
mm.
But yes, I have those high
Okay.
expectations. I want the best. I want the best out of everybody, and I know it's inside of him. I just gotta drag it out with you know, a hook,
Okay.
a hook with
We'll see.
things on the sides. No. Oh, but thank you. Yes, yes. We keep it moving. We definitely do. Hmm.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Hmm.
Now, I've seen it in many capacity, like I said, even in volunteer. Y'all got to understand this woman does not play. She's ready, she's prepared, and she's going all the way. Like, I don't care what it is,
Hmm.
you're going to see her. You probably going to catch up to her at the finish line. Like, she's literally like, y'all don't understand. And if she says she's going to do it, she's going to do it. So,
Yeah, by any
yeah.
means necessary. That's yes, that's what I expect. Oh goodness, but yeah, even when we were at the Black Writers Weekend, um, doing a little live, you know, checking in with the people on the podcasting scene. But it's always good to even check in and to feel the pulse, you know, of the people of like what's happening, what's going on. Um, and there's even most recently, there's been, you know, a lot of things going on. So, um, RIP, like you said, we started off with RIP Darby. So sorry for your loss,
Indeed.
you know. I've been through a lot this year, you know, like many of us, been through a lot. Um, but we have also I think we wanted to talk about something else going on within Darby's family, right? Like just,
So that,
mm,
yeah, that's okay. So this is the crazy part, and it's not putting anybody on blast, but so there, clearly Kelly, her birthday's coming up, and knowing that we're currently concerned because originally she booked a trip, and a nice little like package.
Yeah.
um, on the waters of Lake Michigan and Illinois with a particular, company that, as it turns out, that owner and operator went out with another partner of theirs on that boat and have not been seen since. It's been a couple weeks now,
Mm.
um, at least a week and a half since the initial search party went out after a Mayday call was put in. Um, and they literally did chart, things correctly. It's just that
Yeah.
apparently the boat was having some navigation issues and system function problems. Um, But at this point, they had been out looking and searching with the Coast Guard
Mm. Mm-hmm.
for this, boat, this vessel, and the two people aboard, and haven't found anything. As of last Sunday, they actually called off the search, and we still
That's
have,
crazy.
to my knowledge, no idea. I saw a couple of interviews, and you can find the story online, um, with his sister, um, bearing witness to the fact that they haven't heard anything since then, and it's really tragic.
Mm-hmm.
But it just makes me think, like, what's going on? Like, it's been some crazy stuff happening out here, and this could just be a simple accident. It could be, hey, hopefully we find out that these men, are sitting somewhere waiting to be, found, or it's not to say that everything is said and done,
Yeah.
but it's kind of weird that they haven't been able to find the vessel, no trace
They
of. I
didn't
mean,
find
listen,
the boat, so
The Great
no
Lakes are huge.
boat, no.
As a person from the Midwest, I think the Great Lakes are huge.
Yeah.
So it's not like that's an easy thing to do to search for.
Wow.
Um, I don't know because I'm not that type. That's not my lifestyle. I'm not really
Right.
out there boating like that. I've only been
Mm-hmm.
on a few vessels in my time. So
But a boat
I
is
just
not
know that
that small to just disappear.
you know what? Let me just say this. I won't say that because even larger vessels have been lost at sea, but then recovered or, I mean, again, not found.
Yeah.
So it depends on the nature of the environment, where they were, or last seen, last
Yeah.
known, you know, last pinged. Because in this situation, they definitely mentioned that after a certain period of time, they already knew that the boat definitely ran out of, fuel, and that the cell phones that either, person aboard had to have depleted by
They
that point.
couldn't ping this
Um,
cell. Oh, I guess there's no towers in the ocean.
I mean, and see, that's the thing, right? So, what's the rules
Oh
when you're
gosh.
thinking nautically
Yeah.
versus, see, that's exactly why I take a back seat and would literally bring on like one of my brothers or in the Navy or something
Yeah.
and say, hey, you know what? And maybe that's what we should have done, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
if my brothers are around, y'all want to just chime in. I'm not gonna
Mm.
call y'all by name, but if y'all are watching, y'all on Facebook or any one of these apps and you happen to see,
Exactly.
text me, say tap in or something, and we'll figure out how to do it right quick. But other than that, I'm just going to defer to the fact that there are people smart involved in
Yeah.
this. When you say the Coast Guard is involved, and that they have a pretty good knack for finding things at sea, and if they're telling you that they haven't been able to find this vessel or the people that were supposed to be aboard it, then
Yeah.
I'm probably inclined to believe that either something really bad is going on here, or
Could be foul
I mean,
play.
I don't know,
Could be
man.
foul play. I don't
I
know.
just hope that everybody's okay. That's all I know.
Yeah,
Like,
hopefully he and his partner decided to start a new life together and to go off the grid, and they decided to take the boat and the deposits and go off into the sunset. And
why would that be? And then you are improper, meaning no, we do not
what?
hope. We're
I
hoping that
mean,
this
that way they would
man
be
and
alive. That
whomever,
way they would be alive
they
because it
would be
don't look good
alive,
right now.
but
It doesn't look good right
it
now.
doesn't. But maybe they were just, what was the name of the song? Set Adrift to Memory Bliss, PM Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they were just literally adrift waiting and unfortunately got like the wrong information was relayed and the search was in the wrong area or something.
What if?
Maybe. I don't know.
What if? Are they Russian?
You are wild tonight. Yo, this is wild. If you tie
We're
this
trying to
into
figure
somehow what
out.
Putin and
Yeah.
Trump, I'm with you.
This is how
I'm-
people disappear. How else do people disappear? You
Yo,
don't get
you just
lost.
got like if you don't get lit for the conspiracy theorists in this world, like somebody's definitely clicking on now, like, hey, she might be one of us. We're not
Yo,
your
FBI, look me up.
But
I
this
can
is
help you.
actually
I've got
funny.
all the ideas.
Wow.
I got all the ideas. But
I don't know if the FBI they could use your help, but they might bring down your profile. You might not want to list that because listen, these fools just now raided Mar-a-Lago to go after Trump's paperwork, knowing that he done had this.
I mean, it's been what? Not even a year. I mean, they lost all their
First, they couldn't find text
documents.
messages.
Right.
They couldn't get Dex. They can't get. So you mean to tell me the IRS can find anything on me? By the way, I'm transparent, so y'all won't come. I don't care. You ain't got nothing on me. I don't
We're
care.
peaceful.
But I'm not inviting you. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
inviting you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying I ain't hiding nothing either. However, um, they can find anything they want on anybody else. This man was in office, so legally they're allowed to go through all his shit,
They
literally
already
and
probably are in
figuratively.
there. They probably already.
So, so you're just now making sure that he didn't have something available at home that he shouldn't have. Like, it's the same dude you tried to impeach. It's the same dude you said caused a riot
Right.
on national television.
Mm, mm, mm.
And y'all really like this is not impressive. I don't care that they went to his
They're just
house, and I'm
doing
not
that for
impressed.
show. Because, last
Like,
week they already had a drone go into his window and take pictures of everything that was on his
not
desk.
Mission Impossible.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Not Mission
Mm-hmm.
Impossible. Is Tom Cruise involved?
No, not even Tom Cruise. This is like Lupin, or this is like, you know, some other detective movie thing kind of thing. But,
Wow. Did you just say Luther?
yup, yup.
Wow. You know your US fans are about to be upset with you, right?
Why?
You know that, bro. You know that, bro. You're showing yourself. You're
Come
showing your
on.
true New England roots. You know that, bro.
That's right.
You're showing a little bit
Just a
more
little
each
bit.
time, and I don't think they're gonna appreciate.
They
I
love
don't
it.
think they'll
They all
appreciate
love
it.
it. They did the same
Oh,
thing. Mm-hmm.
yeah. Although we're talking to you like Sean Connery. Anyway, um, I don't know.
Mm-mm-mm.
I'm just not. I'm sorry, FBI. You know what? I'm gonna leave it alone because
Well, they get involved in other things too, besides, you know, past presidents and, conspiracy theories and documents and
they do.
papers. They,
Hmm.
you know, sometimes they get involved in like sports and different shenanigans and like
Funny you should mention
all
that.
kind of stuff.
Funny. You should mention that because so I find it interesting
Mm.
that anything regarding sports ever makes it to the FBI's desk, right?
That proves the
But
importance
there
in the
are
country.
times when you wonder,
Mm-hmm.
hey, why are you guys getting involved when you see there are certain crimes happening at certain levels that clearly dictate everything from classism to racism to genderism
Mm.
to sexism to harassment
Harassment.
to listen,
Like,
like like kidnapping, like really having people's passports withheld from them in
mm.
exchange for favors and other things egregiously done on the company dime,
You would
trips,
think that's what the
and
FBI would do.
sponsored by the actual
Mm.
owners. Hmm. Hmm. You think they'd be interested, but right now, the world of sports wondering what's going on because, nah, people aren't that interested. But you've got Roger Goodell currently appealing a ruling by a judge that he himself appointed
Make it make
to
sense.
oversee,
Mm.
wait, to independently,
Mm.
without bias,
Right.
oversee and rule on a situation between the league and Deshaun Watson. Please let me know. I do not condone Deshaun Watson's personal preferences, character, or judgment.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea whether or not he is guilty of these alleged crimes. What I do know is that something is not right in that scenario with all of these allegations. Now, what's right or wrong there? I don't know. What I do know is you don't need to know who is right or wrong in that entire scenario to know that regarding the NFL's involvement, if they're going to appeal the ruling, and I say this for any player in that same position because if we're being serious here, Ben Roethlisberger was in a very similar situation. While the
Mm-hmm.
situations wasn't exactly the same, Ben Roethlisberger received a 6-game suspension.
And that was years ago.
That was years
Years
ago,
ago.
so there's a precedent for things like this. And I'm not saying it's the same
Mm-hmm.
thing, but he had a conduct unbecoming
Yeah.
clause that he violated,
Isn't
right?
that
So
cause for
you violate the
dismissal?
code of
Like,
conduct.
you should be fired.
It's not to say that, listen, even if it is, they had an opportunity to do these
Mm-hmm.
things, didn't act.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't actually act. So in this situation, I'm saying, oh, okay. Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't think that they're truly pursuing things in the manner that they say they are. For one, because Roger Goodell stated today that not only are they pursuing um, a greater punishment, but they believe that the evidence shown and unearthed in this is what pushed them to seek a greater punishment and penalty. And while I won't disagree that perhaps there is a greater penalty that needs to be employed here, there is something that should be noted. Number one, you agreed that no matter what
Mm.
this judge determined that you would abide by the ruling. So right now you're going against that. Even if we were to excuse that, we have to recognize that you're going against that. Okay.
Yeah.
The second thing is why isn't the same principle being applied in the case of the Washington football team, who have not only been sued as a team,
Mm.
but the owner specifically was also involved. And instead of actually being removed, they were fined heavily, the largest fine in NFL history.
Hmm.
Congratulations, because it was nothing compared to what it should have been. But we're going to leave that part alone too, because this isn't about the money. However, if we're referring to once again the code of conduct and the overall image of the NFL, the shield, the teams that represent it, and the players who, by the way, are all partners.
Mm.
I repeat,
Oh,
partners,
yeah.
not employee, employer,
Mm-hmm.
partners. If we're looking at a code of conduct, then it should apply across the board. And so that people like Dan Snyder should not be able to sidestep it by stepping aside and allowing his wife to be the first the face of the organization while still receiving those funds. No,
Yeah.
he should be punished accordingly. The
Truly.
team should be punished accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone involved, including his wife, since you so fervently wanted to throw her in the front of
Keep her
everything as the face
included.
of it, or maybe that's cool. She wanted to be involved. Great. Now you're involved.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Since you're supposed to be protecting these women that brought these allegations, no matter how they were settled
Mm.
in or out of court, why not apply that across the board? And while we're at it, you New England fans, can we throw Robert Kraft in there with the bunch? Because just being able to dodge the case that
Mm-hmm.
the FBI once again brought to his table, well, to his parlor, to his knees, um, he might have been able to skate on the charges, but the league still fined him a paltry $500,000,
Well, yeah, yeah,
which
and
was equivalent to about $2 and some
it was
change by New
nothing.
England fan
Mm-hmm.
standards.
Mm-hmm.
You
But still, I
know,
mean, we
like
can't
it was a
stand.
parking ticket for
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
You
We
know,
can't even stand
like
Goodell, and I'm trying to understand the
I'm not mad at Goodell. He's doing exactly what the Shield has ordered him to do. This is his job, to stand in
He's
front of the
acting
Shield and be
like
the face.
he's acting like he's a god, and they allow him to do that. He's acting like he can change the rules, make the rules, to his liking, to
I mean,
roll the dice
it's the
until you
NFL.
get what you want. It is the NFL, so I don't know why we even keep messing with them, because it's the whole
They are
organization.
the only game in town.
I suppose.
It's called a monopoly.
But what
And they
is
keep squashing every other organization that tries to do something that might actually become something. So
so? But
that's another
explain to me, what
conversation.
is this whole judgment? Like, we're talking U.S. Supreme Court, we're talking NFL Court of Law, we're talking Roger Goodell's House rules. Like, what are these
Well,
judgments?
this is what I will say. This is a call to arms for the NFL Players
Mm-hmm.
Association and every member, past, present, and, you know, other. This is a time where they finally have the evidence and the leverage and the ability to sue the league. And I don't mean just on some labor negotiations because a new CBA will be needed soon.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. This is about making a stand so that you can have the possibility of other. Because this league is showing you that they don't really care
Mm-hmm.
about whatever rules are currently in place because they can retroactively and retrofittingly change them whenever they see fit. And Roger Goodell is just the face of that. He's not
It's commissioner.
he's not the dude calling the shots. Like he's the commissioner and we know what that means. Like you are the head puppet. They put you in charge because you're smart enough to weasel your way through anything and you're good for public relations. And I got to give him credit. Like under his stewardship, he's got them looking pretty good. And you got to give him credit because this is the same league.
Credit.
Pay attention,
Mm.
y'all. Listen, I do. Listen, I'm fair.
Mm-hmm.
Even in the fact that I'm going to trash this man because he's trash, I'm still fair, right? So I'm not going to take away from the fact that this man has helped them. They transitioned from Tagliabue,
Mm.
right? Because this didn't start recently or under one commissioner. He transitioned from Tagliabue, who had already inherited some garbage, but he filtered through a little bit
Mm.
of it, sifted through some of it, but he inherited a league that stood on the wrong side of history when it came to free agency and independency,
Right.
especially when it came to black people and minorities.
Exactly.
Okay? They were on the wrong side of history with that. Baseball showed them up a bit, but they eventually came around, right? Still got some
Mm-hmm.
problems, but
Mm-hmm.
fast forward that they were on the wrong side of history with CTE. Not only its discovery, its impact, but everything about it. They lied. They flat out
Right.
denied that they even knew that it existed when they had been studying it themselves. And it, for some strange reason, didn't want to share those results with the same people they claim to be protecting or seeing, their best
Yeah.
interests. Okay, so remember, I'm giving Goodell credit for literally being a weasel enough to make the whole world forget
It's only the people who don't
about
care. The people who
anything,
don't care. That's.
right? Wait, wait. And that's beyond Kaepernick,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
okay? That's beyond Mothers Against Drunk Driving going against them about their liquor sponsorships.
Right.
Like, let's be real here. The NFL cares about no one but lining their own pockets. That's what it's always been
Mm-hmm.
about. And if you really want to be real, we can talk about the fact that all the major sports and teams that we all know and love are literally owned by the same people that we find despicable because they live like classists above us and they could care less what really happens to us.
All of
But they
them. Yeah.
claim through these teams that our loyalty through fans and our fandom is what they really care about. And we all know that is a farce. They don't care about anything except
So why are
how
the
they can get
fanatics
more
so
money
fanatic?
because it's conditioned. And if I can quote one of the greats,
Mm.
even my conditioning is conditioned. Like, come on. Like, I'm not gonna front. You see me. I'm decked out in Lakers gear right now. I got on
In
Nikes. I got on
Brooklyn,
Jordans. I
who
gonna have some.
who
I
does
got on,
these?
listen, I got on ones. Like, I know it.
We
I'm
ain't
not
new to this.
fronting like I'm not a serious fan, but I'm being honest about
Mm,
that. And I'm saying I'm not separating myself. I'm saying we got to do better. And my part in that is simply saying,
mm,
okay, cool. If I'm gonna be a fan, I'm gonna be a real fan and like a real person. I'm gonna call out the shit in our own house. So, yeah, I'm calling out the Genie buses and the Lakers because I like the team, but I like
mm,
people more than I like a team or brand or merch. And I like to see the people treated
yeah,
better from top to bottom. And the bottom doesn't necessarily mean that that's where the fans sit. I'm saying from top to bottom as an organization as a whole. If you're going to talk about a family environment, then treat everybody like family, not just
right.
some of the people.
Cheerleaders included.
However, when we talk about the football, oh my goodness, please listen. The NFL has a long way to go when it comes to public relations, but they're smart.
Mm,
Like I said, they put a person in place that could keep the business rolling, the advertisement. So what we actually have to do is not only hit the NFL in the pocket, but we have to hit the advertisers too, because those are the people they answer to, not
mm,
us.
mm-hmm. They're the ones who can
So
make
we have to
them
go to the advertisers and
do
say,
something.
we have to literally say, oh, you think you're doing something by buying a spot for the Super Bowl? Hey, guess what? You're gonna have to do more than that because we're still watching the Super Bowl, right? So we have to find a way
Mm,
to do something. Maybe it's not, the typical boycott. Maybe it's something that we haven't even explored yet, but we gotta try
yeah.
something. And like I said, I'm being real about it. As a person who is definitely a sports fan, we gotta do something. This
I
ain't working.
mean, yeah, and I honestly don't even watch nearly as much as I used to. Like I used to watch the games all the time, and then slowly after Kaepernick, I just kind of like dying out without really boycotting, but just like not being as active and not. I mean, I will always, talk for and support like the Patriots, like day in day out. I like to talk a lot of shit, but I mean, it's only so much shit talking you could do because they're not paying me. I'm not on their payroll. They don't remember me from sitting up in the stands yelling and cheering for them. So, I mean, I could definitely love the camaraderie of being in New York, going to a bar or somewhere. I don't even really go to the bars no more. But, at least walking around with my gear. Like, I have this one video, I have to post it again just so everybody can see. But I was just minding my business, and these Yankee fans came up behind me, started photobombing me. And so, of course, I'm just like, go Red Sox! And they're like, what? Oh, no, what? Oh, like they couldn't believe it. Like, let's get out of here. The plague, the plague. So I like talking that shit. I like the rivalry. But once we start peeling that onion back and talking about, the rules and who gets fined and who doesn't get fined and, what the owners are doing and what the players are doing. And, it is very political and it is not equal. There's the equality and the inclusion is not there for everybody. And you're right. It's all, we
Yeah.
know, yes, it's about the money and it's about what we're letting them to do and get away with, whether it's advertisers or owners or Goodell, you know. But
The man who's hated in every city he goes,
exactly.
but somehow still gets the VIP treatment. Like I really want to know, like forget about booing. I mean, you got your James Dolans of the
Mm,
world, you've got
yeah.
your Dan Snyders of the world, you got your Robert Krafts of the world, and I'm really not throwing too much shade around. Like
Yes.
I'm really just saying these people have clearly done some things that people find
Hmm.
despicable, but somehow just like skated right by, right? Usually use somebody else to deflect some,
Right.
a little shield here and there, pun intended. Um, but then somehow, some way, the focus is always on the players and what they do. And while I won't excuse what happens with the players either, there's something that we should definitely know. Number one,
Hmm.
you have a lot of players, former, current, suffering quite a bit. And we're not just talking about the average everyday injury.
Mm.
This
Mm.
game, if we're being real, is no longer a game at that
No.
level. It's a professional gladiator sport, and they're expected to operate at that level every single
Mm.
time,
Mm-hmm.
all the time, every time they set foot on that field.
Yeah.
So it's chaos and calamity, even if it's organized. At that level, you're going to see injury, you're going to see collisions, you're going to see
Right.
problems. And some of them are going to be lingering. And we're going to be real about this. They have to change their approach to the
Mm-hmm.
game and how they manage not only players, not only during the season, but off, but also in and around the
Right.
game as a whole, including retirement, because we've had way too many players in recent years doing outlandish
Mm-hmm.
things. Some of them they've been able to come back from. We've had success stories like Richard Sherman, who is still working to this day and will tell
Yeah.
you that he is still working on getting things straight and making sure he stays on that path because, hey, who knows what really set him off,
Right.
right? Who knows what we'll find years later from now, hopefully, once he's
Mm-hmm.
transitioned. Years from now,
Yeah.
hopefully. But you never know what you may find. But until then, we should stop saying, well, we don't know, and simply say, you know what? We don't really know.
Yeah.
So maybe we should err on the side of caution instead of just saying, well, we don't really know that, so let's just go ahead and keep
Yeah.
doing this. Because what I do know is too many players have hurt themselves. Too many players have made some horrible decisions.
Oh.
We don't know what those decisions were truly rooted
Mm-hmm.
in, but the tragic ones, we can clearly see like, wow, you couldn't have been in your right mind for that.
Yeah. I can't remember what show I was watching. You know, one of those like New York, it's not even New York Undercover. There I go dating myself again. But it's like, one of those detective shows or something. I can't remember if it was FBI or if it's Black Mirror or something, something, something. But basically, there was
Hmm.
a football player who had um, um, mental or concussion issues, and he was literally he tried to kill his wife and kids. Now, this is a TV kind of replica of, but it still is kind of a little bit based on truth of like the injuries that they suffer, the brain injuries, the concussions that you don't know what it could change your personality, it can change your health for sure. What if what if that's going to end up being a defense that somebody uses that they were beating their girlfriend in an elevator because they got hit in the head and they couldn't remember if they were playing a video game or not. I'm just saying, I'm just you know pondering.
And I do understand the context of what you mean, and I appreciate it. I mean, if we're going to be real here, you need to look, like I said before, if anyone's noticed anything we've
Mm-hmm.
talked about previously, I mentioned Junior Seau. And you need to look no further than that to recognize that you had a player who was an exemplary person on and off the
Mm-hmm.
field, known for their integrity and their character, who suddenly was acting out of
Yeah.
character and doing things that could not be explained, that he and his family could not explain, that although it was embarrassing and difficult to deal with, I can't imagine. This man eventually took his own life in a way and literally pointed at it and said, please study my
Mm.
brain because something was
Mm-hmm.
wrong. It took that incident and others for the NFL to finally, like, literally come to the table to even
Yeah.
discuss what's truly
Mm-hmm.
happening when it comes to this type of injury. And it's sad that it's still in slow motion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and when I say that, it's not because I feel like it's just one thing or one person or one group of people. Everybody, including the players, the coaches, the families, the
Yeah.
advertisers, everyone who benefits in any kind of way from the game, the sport, the business that is the professional
Mm-hmm.
football, we all have to readdress how we're going to truly approach if this sport is going to
Yeah.
continue. Why? Because without all of us taking a step back and another approach at this, it's not going to work
Mm-hmm.
for any one
Mm-hmm.
part. Like all those other things are going to always be the draw and the thing that tears any type of organization apart. If we've got a bunch of dissension because people just don't want to grow, don't want to
Mm,
evolve, don't want to recognize,
mm,
hey, this is dangerous, but it doesn't have to be as dangerous as it is. Yes, have there been strides made in equipment and better usage of
right.
such? Yes. Have there been changes implemented towards practices, mandatory and otherwise? Um, the
Mm,
amount of things done to help in as far as aiding players and making sure that players are monitored in the event of an injury or collision or something of that sort. Yes. Could it be better?
absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
also a yes.
Hmm.
And the sad part about this is, as we're talking about all of this, the league is currently trying to find a way to add more games to the schedule.
More to the football schedule?
Even if it's addition by, listen,
Are they trying to do
every
these
day their
overseas?
goal is to expand.
Mm,
They're trying to do it everywhere they can. It's not just overseas. They want to add games to the schedule, even if it's addition by subtraction, which has been the
mm,
current tug of war with the Players Association when you talk about games in preseason versus games in the
mm-hmm,
postseason. Remember, last year they implemented an additional game for the first time in the regular season in quite some time. And it wasn't because of an addition of teams. They literally added a game while subtracting a preseason game. If I'm not mistaken, they're going to continue trying to do that. But there's only so many games,
yeah.
even to play with that. So what happens after the next 3, 4 years? And they've decided, well, we're trying to maximize every dollar we can. We have to actually say
Mm,
again
mm-hmm,
to the advertisers, the fans, the fanatics, whatever you want to call
yeah.
it, to the owners, to the players, to their families, to their friends. Hey, what's it really worth?
Right.
Because I don't know about you. Most of us probably have a family friend, if not a family member, that's played professional sports at some point in their lives. And if they played football,
Mm,
I can tell you right now, you know the difference between them in every other major
mm,
sports and their retired
mm-hmm.
players. Because while some other players may have some catastrophic injuries here and there and suffer later in life,
Nothing compared to
nobody
football.
sees the impact that football does, not American
Mm-hmm,
football. No one. The type of injury and the damages in the wake of
mm-hmm,
that are never
mm-hmm,
ending. And it's honestly, I feel like the more they dig, the more they're gonna find like, wow, we've been overlooking so many things for so long because we didn't tie them
yeah.
together. But the players, we know for a fact they've been fighting for better treatment, especially in
Mm-hmm.
retirement, for over 40 years. So
Well,
I know they can't say they've been like, oh, we didn't know. You can't.
well, when
It's
you got
impossible. We
somebody
have it on
like
record.
Adele out in front dancing like a puppet, you can always say we didn't know. That we didn't know.
Goodell, Goodell. That dude gets paid a lot
How
of
much does
money.
he make?
I just want
How
people,
much does he get paid?
man, would you like to just
I'm
look
looking
up?
it
I
up right
mean,
now. Let
it's
me
not,
see how much he gets paid. This Goodell guy.
oh wow, like, I don't think you, oh,
Did
woo,
you get it?
63.9 per year. This can't be real. Yes, it
What?
is. Oh man. All right, so I just want y'all to know
Million.
Goodell can't even hear us. He can't even hear us
63.9
right now.
million.
He can't even hear us right now. His ears are not tuned to this
He
level or this
makes
frequency. The
peasants.
only thing he hears are our, no, we're not peasants. But the only thing he can hear from us is the cash,
Mm.
the cha-ching. That's the only thing he can hear from us. If it's not us buying
Mm-hmm.
merch, season tickets, or supporting NFL of some type, especially during breast month, cancers,
All the
that month,
pink
the breast
pink
cancer month.
socks
I
and
said breast
shoes and
month. That was
ribbons.
horrible. Breast cancer month, especially during that time. That's the only time they actually care. And I'm not saying that like the NFL doesn't have other charities that they support because they do. I'm not saying that they don't show up in other ways. What I'm suggesting is that when it comes to CTE, when it comes to
Everything
truly
else.
representing the players that they claim to be partners with, it's not real.
Mm.
It's just about the money that they already have. That system is already functioning, and they're not about to change that without a fight.
Well,
That's
yeah.
it.
Well, I mean, I know.
Otherwise, show us the transcripts of that investigation for the Washington football team since John Gruden already called y'all out and was like, "Oh, if y'all thought what I said was egregious, y'all have no idea."
Mm. There's a whole lot
Mm.
underneath there.
Y'all could put a stop to all that
Yeah,
by just simply opening up the files, but you
of
won't,
course.
and we know
Mm,
why.
mm, mm,
We know why. Because we know it's not gonna look good, and we know who's gonna be the people y'all actually don't look good dealing with.
mm, mm, mm. I ain't gonna say nothing because it's about time to wrap it up.
It
Oh my
is, it is,
goodness.
it is.
Yeah, but listen, I want everybody to just put some comments in the chat. I was even thinking about, I know one of the brothers that I work with, or that is a member of the Black Podcasters Association. He has a show on sports. We got to get some of the other people in here talking and chatting about the
Let's see if we can
sports.
bring them on.
Yes,
Let's
yes.
go. All sports. I
Mm-hmm.
love anything
Mm-hmm.
competition. I don't care if it's racing, cycling, gun, like it could literally be skeet
Archery,
shooting. Let's
yes,
go.
yes.
Archery, yes. Like,
Double O
listen,
seven
I've
stuff.
tried quite a bit.
You know, there's an archery place right
Listen,
here in
listen.
Brooklyn, right over.
Yes,
You didn't tell me. I mean, I knew
yes.
about it too, but
I'm
let's
so sorry, but
go.
I think I
Let's
brought up that.
go.
No, no, no. I know. No, no.
Let's
I know when I
go.
mentioned it. The orchard ride, because I also mentioned falconry,
We are going
because
to the
everybody
orchard
forgot.
this week,
And
this month, next. Well, okay, this year, October.
it will probably have to be October because we are booked August and
Booked and
September.
busy.
So it'll have to be in October. But October is great because it's harvest season. So
Yes.
it's perfect. As long as we have the rest the you know what
Put it in
we're
there.
gonna
Put it
see,
out there.
that would be a great
Brooklyn
thing.
Bike Crew. We're
That
going a
would be a
ride to the
great thing.
orchard. Brooklyn Bike
Ooh,
Crew.
ooh. Hootie hoo. Yer.
If it's
Pull
on my
up.
calendar, it's got to happen.
Pull up.
So we're going to pick some. We're going to make a date. We're going to make a date.
All right, we just said it, so now we got to make it happen.
We're riding to the orchard.
Hey, Dressel Farms, we'll see you soon. We'll see you soon.
Cool.
But listen,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna keep you any longer.
Mm-hmm.
I do understand it's a school night and
Mm-hmm.
we all got work to do.
Right. Yes.
Listen, we will recap again and catch up over the weekend because we had a couple events
Yes.
coming up
Yes.
for everyone. So you'll see us live this Friday.
Yes.
You know, we might dip in, pop on, pop off because we got a couple of things with Chef Ashley
Mm-hmm.
jumping off and SPAD and their crew.
Yes.
And then we got a special treat on the recording side coming right up for follow that. So we got a couple of things going back to back
Mm-hmm.
to back. And you're going to see a lot more of Improper
Yeah.
Mimi and my Improper Musings and all sorts in between. So
For
trust me,
real.
stay tuned.
Absolutely. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Ciao.